As a guitar geek, you likely find yourself struck with inspiration. Whether you've learned a guitar lick that you've been working on for a while, created a song, or just have a downright good idea on the guitar. And you probably think to yourself, I should record this. But you don't. So today I'm going to share with you 3 recording tips that will get you started immediately in capturing these magical moments. Tip number 1 is to use what you have. Whether that be a phone, a mini tape recorder, a standard tape recorder, or plugging directly into your computer. Whatever you have is what you should use to record. So often, and I'm very guilty of this, we use gear as an excuse as to why we can't do something. Oh, I need better recording gear, or I need a better mic, or I don't really have the right stuff. You do. Chances are you've got a cell phone, and on this cell phone you can use voice memos or a video. More on that in a second. The second tip that I have for you is if you are choosing a mic or whatever recording equipment you have, is to position it so you get the best sound. Okay, and if you're just starting, what you can do is place the mic kind of pointed at the 12th fret of the guitar, almost towards the body. So let's say this is the guitar neck and this is the 12th fret, you'd point the mic like so to get a decent sound. But remember, there's no one right way. You can experiment all you want. You can plug the mic in, put headphones on, listen to it in different areas around the guitar, and see what you like. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And in terms of mics, I like to use, well, this is what I have. This is a small diaphragm condenser mic. There's all different kinds. You can get a dynamic microphone, a large diaphragm condenser, a ribbon mic. Whatever you have is fine. Don't let gear stop you, okay? And the third tip that I have for you, and this one's extremely important, that is to press record. Yes, I know it sounds super simple, but it's a crucial step because this is the step that so many of us, myself included, get hung up on. I want you to just press record. I don't want you to worry about it being perfect. I don't want you to time it like press record and then run and start playing right away. Just press record and start capturing the moment. This has a ton of benefits, 3 of which are, number 1, it starts to reduce that red light fever or that anxiety that you get when you're recording yourself. So often people don't record because it incites anxiety. Well, the more you do it, the more practice you get, the lesser that anxiety becomes. The second reason is that you're going to begin to chronicle your playing, your ideas, successes, small wins. And this is extremely important. It's like a video diary of your progress. It's undeniable evidence that you've experienced progress. There are many times that I'll go back in my phone and listen to recordings that I did months ago, and I think to myself, wow, I play that song so much different. And I'm so happy that I actually sat down to record it because otherwise I wouldn't have that perspective. And the third thing that recording actually allows you to do is to quickly share your recordings. Now, I know that sounds kind of funny, and maybe you're not at that point yet, but you will. You can quickly send a file to your guitar geek buddies, or you can just save it on your hard drive. And that, again, is just a sign of progress and allows you to really get some fulfillment out of your practice time with the guitar, out of your playing time with the guitar. And I actually have a bonus tip for you. This is one that I kind of stumbled upon and found to be extremely useful, and I wanted to share it with you, and that is, if you're using your phone to record yourself, you may as well shoot a video. Why not? You just hit that little camera flip button, set the phone up, and actually video record yourself. You'll get the audio, and more importantly, you'll get to see yourself playing. And I found this extremely valuable when I started recording my most recent album that hopefully will be done in October, fingers crossed. But I do a lot of alternate tunings and things like that, and oftentimes just the audio isn't really good enough for me to figure out the song again or remember what I played. So having that video allows me to hear what's being played, but more importantly, allows me to see where my fingers are at and allows me to recreate that song if I've spent some time away from it. So I hope these tips help you, and I just have to say this. Bottom line, I want you to start. Use what you have and begin recording. Don't make excuses. It's so easy to do because it feels a little vulnerable, but as soon as you break past that level of vulnerability and start recording, you're going to start to reap the benefits and actually see the progress, and that feels amazing. Okay, last week on Acoustic Tuesday, I gave you 5 tips for your very first open mic. We checked out a Robert Johnson documentary on Netflix, and we listened to Days of the New, specifically Travis Meeks, and realized that acoustic guitar was alive and well during the 90s grunge era. This week on Acoustic Tuesday, you've already learned 3 recording tips to get you in the right mindset. We're also going to check out an artist whose spirit animal is a catfish, and much, much more. I'm Tony Polecastro, and this is the Acoustic Tuesday Show. Guitar geeks, unite. Welcome to Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 94. I'm Tony Polecastro, and this is the show where you're going to learn about acoustic guitar gear, discover acoustic artists, and get inspired to live your very best acoustic life. As with all episodes of Acoustic Tuesday, I'm going to share with you my guitar geek list for the week. And this week, I am super excited to continue on down the list, but first, some guitar geek trivia for you. Here is your question. Who, while working as a studio janitor at the time, assisted with percussion on Bob Dylan's song, Lay, Lady Lay? Was it A, Norman Blake, B, Willie Nelson, C, Steve Earle, or D, Chris Christopherson? Go ahead and ponder that, and at the end of the show, I'll be sure to give you the answer. Now, before we dive into the guitar geeky goodness that is Acoustic Tuesday, I do want you to know that Acoustic Tuesday is brought to you by Tony's Acoustic Challenge. Tony's Acoustic Challenge is an acoustic guitar program like you've never seen before. To learn more how it can take your playing to the next level by experiencing progress and fun day in and day out, please click on the link in the description below or visit tonysacoustichallenge.com. Now, as we go forward today, there's going to be a lot of videos happening, there's going to be a lot of buttons being pressed, and I won't be able to press those buttons. But Sir Noah Jacob Heckman Jr. the First will. So ladies and gentlemen, Sir Noah Jacob Heckman Jr. the First.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, Noah. Thank you for asking. How are you this fine day?
Fantastic. It's a beautiful day. Love the rain.
I do too.
Lightning struck a tree. It's all good.
It's Hey, I wanted to ask you, you're an at-home musician. You write songs and things like that. Mm-hmm. What's your take on home recording? Have you experienced any of the anxiety? What's your vibe on that?
I had opportunities to record or have myself recorded kind of growing up being a musician. So it was something that I always looked for an opportunity for. And so even if it was like, putting in the cassette tape and mashing record and play button at the same time. So I'm right there with you. I really appreciated you talking about like the guitar diary, like the progress diary.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have had that thought much earlier on and then could really see, what my progress was like rather than just having recordings of like performances and kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of fun seeing the warts and all. Like, oh, I remember back at that time I could barely play that riff, and now I don't even think about it. It's kind of a cool perspective to have.
Yeah. So anyone considering recording out there, hit record. Now, Tony.
Record. Yes.
One of the things that you promote here at Acoustic Live Studios is to play every day.
100%, absolutely.
So what piece of music do you have for us today?
Well, Noah, I'm very glad that you asked. Thank you for teeing me up so well. Today, I'm going to actually perform a song for you, and I've chosen the song. It's an original piece. It's called The Hard Life of a Rodent Living in Tacoma. More on the title here in a second, but since this is a guitar geeky show, I want to give you a little bit of the details on what I'm playing and how I'm playing. So I'm going to be playing this song in kind of an odd alternate tuning. It's a D minor 9 tuning. So the tuning low to high is D, A, D, F, A, E. And I'm going to be using my Bourgeois OMSC. This guitar is one of my it is my favorite at this point in time. Torrefied Italian spruce top, Cocobolo back and sides. It reacts to alternate tuning so well, and it just freely offers bass and just beauty. There's that tuning again, D, A, D, F, A, E. And I'm going to use finger picks for this song because I think it pulls a little bit of clarity out of the guitar. Now onto the title. So, Hard Life of a Rodent Living in Tacoma this song was written as a nod to John Fahey. John Fahey is one of my guitar heroes, constant source of inspiration, and I would like to think that if John Fahey was still alive, if I played this song, he'd say, wow, that's a cool song, Tony. That's what happens in my mind. So without further ado, let me jump into playing this song. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for listening. And speaking of enjoying things, I want to know how you're enjoying the Acoustic Tuesday show so far. So in the comments below, please let us know. And don't forget to include where you're tuning in from. We love to see how many guitar geeks we can unite on Tuesdays, and more importantly, how far and wide they come from. Did I say that right? I'm pretty sure I did. And also, as you're leaving a comment, don't forget to subscribe to the Acoustic Life YouTube channel. It's super easy. Hit that red subscribe button, and then don't forget to hit that little gray bell. That'll give you a notification of each and every new video that gets posted. And something very important that I'm going to ask you to do to help out the Acoustic Tuesday show, please, as you're leaving a comment, as you're watching, as you're subscribing, go ahead and click that like button. That lets us know that you enjoy the show, and more importantly, it helps other guitar geeks discover the show so we can unite even more guitar geeks on Tuesdays. All right, moving on to our next item of the day. This is one I'm very excited about. I had the distinct privilege and honor to check out these new LR Baggs Align Series pedals, the delay and the chorus. So rather than do it here in the studio, I wanted you to come to my house and see me mess around with them. So let's take a look. I'm about to try out the new LR Baggs Align Series chorus and delay. Okay, so today I'm gonna be looking at these two beautiful little tone tweakers, and I wanted to give you a sense of what was actually included in the box when you purchased a pedal. So both of them are pretty much the same. The delay comes in a nice little beautiful box, so does the chorus, and as per usual with the Align series, they look beautiful to get the wood graphic on the actual pedal casing, and it just looks very acoustic, which I personally like. The hidden bonus here is that they actually blend in. And as a sticker lover, they come with stickers and the all-important user's guide. I decided to start with the delay pedal because it seemed, well, quite honestly, the most fun. So a quick overview of the knobs. The delay knob actually controls how prominent the effect is. The tone gives you either a crispy sounding delay or a dull sounding delay. The repeats control, well, how many repeats you can actually hear. And the time is kind of a distance in between delay. The less time, the more kind of vibrato chorusy effect, and the more time, the more distinct kind of psychedelic delay. There's also a tap tempo, so if you're trying to match the tempo of a song, you can tap that. And then that DIV knob turns the delay into a dotted eighth note, which is kind of a nice little musical effect. I'm running this through my Mesa Rosette amp, which is fantastic. It sounds great. And I'm going to be using my Bourgeois Custom OMSC with Cocobolo back and sides and Torrefied Italian spruce top. So without further ado, here's a cool sound that I came up with. That was only just a little snippet of what the delay is capable of. I messed around with that pedal for about an hour and a half, found that setting, thought it was awesome, and thought, you know what, I should share it with you. Now let's move on to the chorus and see what that's capable of. Now the chorus was completely new territory for me, so this was really fun to mess with, and I found a really cool sound I want to share with you. But first, a quick overview of the knobs. Volume, how much of the effect you get. Tone, whether the effect is crispy or more mellow. The chorus, essentially the amount of the effect. Think of the more chorus, the more kind of wishy-washy or liquid the sound is, and the less, obviously, is a little bit more clean and realistic. And then as for the size of the chorus, to me it sounds like this controls the low frequency oscillation. Think, more on the plus end of things, it sounds like you're underwater, and then more on the minus end of things, it's a little bit more realistic and more real world chorusy. It just kind of thickens up the sound. And of course, as both pedals have the push button engage there that you just kick on and off whether you want the effect or not. So let's give this one a go. are seriously awesome. Big tip of the hat to LR Bags. The Align series has done nothing but impress me, and the delay and chorus are no exception. If you're looking for something to tweak tone, if you're looking for just a different sound for your acoustic guitar, I would strongly recommend checking these pedals out. I think they're about, street price is right around $150, and judging by the amount of tonal possibilities you get, that's really, really nothing. And I gotta say, they really did a great job of designing them for acoustic guitar. They don't sound odd, they sound like they fit and they sound natural. So way cool, great job LR Bags. To learn more about those pedals, please visit acousticlife.tv/AT94. You're going to find additional videos and additional links, including buy links. And remember, when you use those Amazon referral buy links, that generates some revenue that we get. A portion of the sale comes to us, and we pass that on directly to Guitars for Vets as a donation on behalf of all of you guitar geeks watching Acoustic Tuesday. Also, I want to say this, if you love those pedals and you think, man, maybe I should start getting into pedals, I reviewed the entire Align series on a previous episode of Acoustic Tuesday episode number 23. So make sure to check that out if you want to learn more about the LR Bags Align series. Now, coming up, I want to feature a blues artist that you absolutely must hear. I have an interesting mailbag arrival that I have to share with you, and of course, your Guitar Geek Trivia answer. But first, I am so pleased to announce that Will McNichol is back again. Yes, Acoustic Tuesday artist Will McNichol, who we featured on Acoustic Tuesday episode number 88, took some additional time out and answered our Acoustic Tuesday questions. And I think you'll be extremely surprised at what piece of gear he cites as changing his acoustic life. So I introduce to you for a second time, Will McNichol.
Hi guys, this is Will McNichol here, and Tony, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to you and your team at Acoustic Tuesday for featuring me on one of your episodes. What a pleasure and such a lovely surprise. And also just a massive thank you to some of your listeners who reached out off the back of that. It was really, really lovely to hear from them. So here I am, and you've asked me to answer 3 Acoustic Live questions, so here we go. First of all, who is an under the radar artist do you think more people should be listening to? And I think I'm going to give a shout out to my good friend Chris Woods, who goes under the name of Chris Woods Groove, and most recently recording under Chris Woods Groove Orchestra. And he's a fabulous guitarist, but also a wonderful composer who's really been pushing the boat out in terms of instrumentations in his recordings. Really interesting combinations of textures and timbres that I really, really have found quite inspiring. So please do go and check him out. He's got a lot of stuff up on YouTube, etc. And next up, out of all of your acoustic guitars, which is your favourite and why? At the moment, it's hands down this beauty by my good friend Tom Sands, based up in Yorkshire in England. And this is one of his Model S's, it's my signature Model S, redwood, and this rather stunning black limber, back and sides. And since getting it a few weeks back, I just haven't stopped playing the thing. It's been a very inspiring instrument to play, and as a composer, it's always lovely having a guitar which, you know, suggests new ideas to you to explore. So that's the one for me. And if you want to hear it, I've got plenty of recordings up on YouTube, etc. of me playing that one. So go and check it out if you like. And finally, what is the one piece of gear that has changed your acoustic life? So, slightly weird answer to this one for me is actually these. It's a ping pong ball. And as many fingerstyle guitarists know, you know, quite often you use nails. And I was classically trained and started my life as a classical player, playing nylon strings with just natural nails, and that was kind of fine. But then when I moved on to steel string, I found that, you know, my nails would get shredded after just a couple of gigs. And I tried false nails, that kind of thing, lots of different options. I never really got on with them until I was shown this idea about cutting up ping pong balls and super gluing them underneath your nail. You can cut them up into these little semicircles and super glue them underneath to reinforce the nail. It was something that I was shown by a fantastic British guitarist called Clive Carroll. Also a technique used by John Renbourn. And what's lovely about it is it just feels exactly like your own nail. But you know, you can play as aggressively as you like, and it's just worked beautifully. So that's the thing that's changed my acoustic life, the humble ping pong ball. So cheers Tony, and Guitar Geeks Unite.
I have to say that when Will held up a ping pong ball, my heart sank a little bit because I was like, that's the piece of gear that changed your life? And my initial thought was, did he use it as like a hand strengthener? And then he showed how he used it. And I was like, that's incredible and amazing. And it was pretty timely because just this last weekend I was playing softball with Whitney's family and I happened to break my middle fingernail. And I thought to myself, had I known about Will's ping pong ball trick, I probably wouldn't have broken my middle fingernail. So I'm pretty excited about Will's tip, and hopefully you all are as well. And Noah, I just wanted to ask you if you wouldn't mind taking me to the sporting goods store after we're done filming here today so I can purchase a set of ping pong balls.
It would be my pleasure.
Maybe the neon ones to make it look like extra cool.
Yeah. Wow, this is like a whole line of accessorizing
Right.
for the fingerstyle guitar player.
Will just started a whole entire fashion trend, which is awesome. So thank you again, Will, for your time. We appreciate it. And again, if you want to learn more about Will, please check out Acoustic Tuesday episode number 88, where you can see his playing and see what I'm talking about when he is truly a fingerstyle musician that really breaks all boundaries. You got to check him out. Now, I want to move on to the mailbag today because while I didn't get anything in the actual physical mail, Father's Day is coming up on June 16th, and I thought to myself, I did get this recent email from my dad, and I wanted to share it with all of you because it's incredibly guitar geeky. So back in the, I think, the late 60s, 70s, my dad was in a band, and the band was entitled Leviathan. And one of his band members actually sent him an email containing an old promo shot from the band days. So take a look at the group and see if you can pick out my dad. It'd be interesting to see in the comments which one you think it is. And in case you need any tips or hints, Noah doctored up the image a little bit and he wanted to zoom in. But they look like a bunch of troublemakers, really. And it's funny because, so the band's name was Leviathan, and the tagline was a monster of a rock band, and I thought that was cool. But check this out. Prior to being Leviathan, their name was Nirvana. Huh? Go figure. Kind of a guitar. I mean, I wouldn't ask that in a trivia question, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, what would you say if, like, I like the Leviathan monster of a band. I'm just thinking about what you would say for Nirvana, at that time. Like, Nirvana, a band that meditates. No.
I'll have to see if I can dig up any more old pictures because those are pretty fun to see. It kind of goes along with the recording theme a little bit. I also want to take a second and I got this wonderful piece of paper in my notes for the show today, and I'm here we go. Happy belated birthday to Acoustic Tuesday viewer Chris B from Perth, Australia, who turned 47 on May 22nd. And a special note from a very special someone. It says, "Keep practicing. I hear you're awesome." Smiley face. So happy birthday, Chris. Thanks for watching the Acoustic Tuesday show. Next up, I've got an artist for you that you absolutely need to have at least one of his albums, if not the entire catalog. Now, this recommendation comes from Brandon B. of Palestine, Illinois, and he recommended that we listen to Catfish Keith. Now, Brandon says this of Catfish Keith. First off, I want to say I'm a big fan of the show. Well, thank you for watching, Brandon. The artist I submitted is an old soul playing country blues. He may be under the radar for non-blues fans, but I'm hoping that guitar geeks of the world can change that. He has some original songs, but I personally find his renditions of old country blues to be intoxicating. He manages to honor the spirit of the original piece while making it his own. His technique is rather unique. The video I linked shows him playing Bucko White's guitar, which is guitar geek goodness at its best. I'd recommend listening to his hypnotic take on Jessie Mae Hemphill's Eagle Bird. I'd recommend checking out his album Live at the Half Moon to get a good feel for what he brings to the table. Thanks for hosting such a fun show. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for recommending Catfish Keith. Now, just to dig right into Brandon's recommended listening, let's hear Catfish Keith playing Bucko White's guitar on Daddy, Why You Been Gone So Long. I'm sorry, Daddy, Where You Been So Long.
Sugar for sugar, let me give you salt for salt. Sugar for sugar, let me give you salt for salt. honey, it's your own.
All right, as you can see, Catfish just kind of escapes into the music. It's like he's got not a care in the world. He's just in the song, playing it, feeling it, all the mojo, all the tone. I love it. It's incredible. So to keep on this listening train, it's clear that Catfish loves resonators. In fact, I believe he's endorsed by National Guitars. So I figured we should probably hear him playing at the National booth at NAMM. And he's going to be playing the tune Poor Boy Long Ways From Home, which is kind of a nod to John Fahey, ironically. I'm making connections as we go here. So without further ado, here is Catfish Keith. Is Catfish an amazing player? I mean, if you just watch his right-hand approach, his tone, his escape into the song, as I mentioned before, he's also quite the guitar geek. In fact, he has his own Santa Cruz guitar. He's got a Santa Cruz Guitar Company made him a Catfish Keith model. It's a beautiful old blues guitar, and well, it's a new old blues guitar. It's got some wonderful appointments, but rather than me try and talk about it, why don't you just hear Catfish talk about it? So here he is, talking about his guitar.
So it has a beautiful deep tone and really chimes out. So harmonics just fly out of it, and I'll just play a little bit here, just a little guitar bit of Going Way Out West. In the guitar, like beautiful right?
Bottom line, if you love blues, you love fingerstyle guitar, and you want to listen to an under-the-radar guitarist, Catfish Keith is your guy. In fact, I've got a couple albums that'll get you started. Released in 1992, Jitterbug Swing. Next up, Pony Run, released in 1999. And then some more modern albums. Mississippi River Blues, released in 2017. And most recently, Reefer Hound, released in 2018. Now, I do have to make a comment that Catfish is clearly a guitar geek. National Guitars. He's got his own Santa Cruz Guitar Company model, and if you go to his website, he's actually selling new era guitars. Remember Tony Klassen from a couple Acoustic Tuesday episodes ago? Yeah, so he's right in line with being an extreme guitar geek, and I'd like to officially welcome Catfish Keith to the Acoustic Tuesday family. And hopefully this is not the last time we hear from Catfish. Noah, in fact, as we were prepping for today's show, Noah just simply said, he looks like he's fun to hang out with. And yep. I agree. I would love for him to come to Acoustic Tuesday Studios.
I think that'd be awesome. And I had never heard of Catfish Keith before you brought him up to me. as suggested. But yeah, first clip that popped up, I was like, I like this guy. I didn't even hear him play a song yet. It was just, yep.
And I do want to say though, if he did come to Acoustic Life Studios, we'd probably have to up our ante in the wardrobe department, because he dresses pretty fine.
Yep, he's right up there with the ranks of Eric Bibb and not us.
Now, I do want to mention, if you enjoyed listening to Catfish Keith, you can learn more about him at acousticlife.tv/AT94. But also, I would encourage you to check out Guy Davis, whom we featured back on Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 89. If you're into the blues, the old-time blues, and just kind of watching an artist that sinks into the song, Guy Davis is a great addition to Catfish Keith as well. So before we go any further today, just a quick reminder that Acoustic Tuesday is brought to you by Tony's Acoustic Challenge. Tony's Acoustic Challenge helps you live your best acoustic life by one day at a time, getting you closer to your unique guitar dream scene. To learn more about Tony's Acoustic Challenge, please visit tonysacousticchallenege.com or click on the link in the description below. Now on to your Guitar Geek trivia question answer, but before we do that, here's a quick recap of the question. Who, while working as a studio janitor at the time, assisted with percussion on Bob Dylan's song Lay Lady Lay? Was it A, Norman Blake, B, Willie Nelson, C, Steve Earle, or D, Chris Christopherson? Well, if you answered D, Chris Christopherson, you're 100% correct. Christopherson assisted with the percussion parts on Lay Lady Lay. Lay Lady Lay, the seductive ballad featured guitarist Norman Blake's steel guitar and Dylan's low croon. But it was missing a drum part after an early attempt at the song. Drummer Kenny Buttrey asked Dylan what he had in mind. Bongos, he replied. Buttrey found an old set of bongos and ran a cigarette lighter underneath to tighten the skin. When Johnston suggested adding cowbells, Buttrey found those too. Christopherson was working as a studio janitor at the time, was asked to hold the bongos and cowbell next to Buttrey's drum kit. He had just emptied my ashtray at the drums, Buttrey remembered. I said, Chris, do me a favor here. Hold these two things. And then the recording was made. Just like that. Just like that. You know, this is kind of interesting because I'm now connecting the theme of recording through the entire episode. So if you want to get started in recording, just follow the Chris Christopherson method. Be a janitor and hold cowbells and a bongo for the drummer. And wham, pretty soon you're going to be singing Me and Bobby McGee and all those other hits. Sunday Morning Coming Down, all that good stuff. No, not so much?
So is that kind of like if I want to be in like a music video, like Courtney Cox, I just get like in the front row?
What, was she in, was it Bruce Springsteen's first music video?
Born in the USA. Yeah.
See, all these tips we can learn from our heroes.
So many tips.
Yeah. All right, let's take a sneak peek into next week and see what's going to happen on Acoustic Tuesday, episode 95. Next week, you're going to get the lowdown and learn how to hybrid pick. You're going to get loud with the Fishman Loudbox Mini and listen to Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen, a bluegrass band that literally knocks my socks straight off my feet. In fact, I've got a fun story about them that I'll share on that episode. So don't miss a single episode of Acoustic Tuesday. Remember, you can catch it every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on YouTube. And of course, for your Acoustic Tuesday fix in between Tuesdays, please visit acousticlife.tv, where plenty of guitar geeky goodness awaits you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. And from one guitar geek to another, remember, guitar geeks unite. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, and I'll see you next week.